Lionel Messi isn't the man you think he is. Addictions, jail time, his own words in the dictionary, a disease that almost killed him? Here are 10 things you didn't know about Lionel Messi. And first, how he spent $40 million just to conquer his biggest fear. Messi is well known for spending ridiculous amounts of money on cars. Mercedes, Maseratis, Paganis, even a 1957 Ferrari Spider. But Messi didn't spend hella bread because he liked how the cars looked. He bought them because of a fear he has had since he was a jit. Amaxophobia. A Google search claims that Messi's disorder causes him to feel anxious or in fear of driving. And it definitely didn't help that both Messi's brother and dad were in serious car accidents. But Messi's fear of cars was something he couldn't just get over with. Since he always has to travel, he researched and found that more expensive car brands always have extra safety features and way higher quality parts that won't break or smash during an accident that aren't found in your typical cars. So to help conquer his fear, Messi spent more money on whips than pretty much any athlete in the world, on a car collection worth over $40 million just to keep himself protected. But we need to go way back to when Messi was a child, because Messi almost never made it to this point because of a rare disease that ruined his life. You see, Messi was just some innocent kid who loved football so much, his biggest dream in life was to get good enough to play for a pro club. But Messi was already better than everybody his age, so it wasn't long before teams began making him offers. But at the same time, Messi was out there chasing his dreams. Something started feeling very off about him, and one day he was taken to a hospital where doctors found something unusual with Messi's health because his height hasn't changed in years. And after they officially ran some tests, they diagnosed Messi with an extremely rare disease. Messi was suffering from a growth hormone deficiency that caused his body to not grow, which is why he was shorter than almost every kid at the height of only 4'4". His brain was also sadly affected by this as well, which slowed down his ability to learn. But as scary and life-threatening as this all sounded, Messi was told the disease was actually curable, but only if his family could afford it, because the injections would cost around $1,000 every single month. There was no way Messi could pay for it. So once football clubs heard that this young prodigy's career might be over before it even started, they all left him hanging and refused to help pay for his treatment. Well, all clubs except for Barcelona. They gave Messi one chance to prove his potential at a workout, and when he came in looking like the most talented kid the scouts have ever seen, they wouldn't even let him leave their training camp without signing him to their club. So, in one of the most historic contract signings in sports history, with just a pen and a goddamn napkin, they whipped up an entire agreement for Messi to play football for them, and in return, they would pay for all of Messi's treatments. But genetic issues weren't the only thing Messi suffered with. He also had a secret addiction that nearly ended his career. You see, most football players eat healthy, but Messi's eating habits almost killed him. Back in 2003, when Messi got to Barcelona, even though he was now a professional footballer, he was still like any other 18-year-old kid. Eating healthy was the least of his concern. I'm talking pizza, candy, cookies. Messi was hooked on junk food, and as time went by, his eating habits only got worse. Messi kept it hidden, but secretly, he was in denial and suffering the consequences. After years of not taking care of his health, every single day, he woke up feeling hella sick. But getting sick on the field and surprising everyone was the wake-up call he needed. So not long after, Messi hit up his doctor and told him how bad junk food had taken over his life. And at that point, Messi and the doctors realized that if he didn't fix his diet, his career and life were over. So Messi promised to change for his fans, and luckily, he had the right people supporting him. It started with Barcelona's manager removing all the vending machines from the club's training facility. And not long after, Messi hired a nutritionist to force himself to stick to a healthy diet. Ever since Messi changed his ways, he's not only no longer sick, he's taken his career to a whole new level.
Por lo mal que he comido durante muchos años, con 22, 23, 24 años, no sé.
Come cualquier cosa y ahora ¿qué comes?
Y ahora como bien, como pescado, como carne, como ensalada, como verdura. La verdad que como de todo, pero ordenado y bien y...
Wow, man. Look at Messi. I think Messi just changed my life. But Messi ain't just out here changing lives, he's changing dictionaries too. You see, Messi became the greatest footballer in the world, and with that, he got his own word in the dictionary. Yeah, you heard that right. Messi is so incredibly good at football that there was an official word created to describe him. Impresionante. The word was first used by Argentinian manager Alejandro Sabella. Wonder what the word actually means. Perfect way to play football and unlimited capacity for self-improvement. But being so good at football and having his own word in the dictionary must mean that he is getting paid big. Yeah, I am talking about a 2.5-year contract worth $450 million. And with this kind of money, it's no wonder he can spend his money on things like these. But what Messi didn't know was that spending millions made him the target of a heist. On August 2021, Messi had just become one of the most famous people on the planet when he shocked the world and signed with PSG. Since he showed up in Paris unexpectedly, he didn't have a permanent place to stay yet. So, for now, Messi decided to check in at one of the city's top hotels, La Royale Monceau. Even though he was paying $18,000 a night to stay there, he had no idea that the place wasn't as secure as he believed. Thousands of fans knew Messi was in town, so as soon as he arrived at the hotel, crowds were chanting his name and the paparazzi were snapping pictures. The hotel thought they had everything under control and even boosted security, bringing in a whole team of cops to keep Messi safe. But because the world knew exactly where Messi was staying, a group of thieves got word about when Messi would be leaving his room. These criminals had studied Messi for years and knew he loved wearing pricey watches, APs, Rolexes, Jacob & Co. exclusives, each costing tens of thousands of dollars. On the night Messi left his room, the masked thieves showed up, climbed up the building from one balcony to another until they reached Messi's room, grabbed his watches and cash, and made their getaway. Cameras caught them, of course, but when Messi found out about the theft, even though the police launched a massive investigation, the thieves were never caught, and they escaped with $40,000 worth of his belongings. So, it's no surprise that soon after, Messi moved into a gated mansion because he wanted to make sure those criminals never got near him again. And now that we're diving into the top 4 stories of Messi's life, let's take it up a notch because recently, he created something out of this world that's going to make him billions. Messi wanted his fans to own a piece of his life. So with the hype around crypto and NFTs skyrocketing, Messi started designing something that would set a world record. His own NFT collection that represented his proudest achievements and biggest moments and named it the Messiverse. After Messi released a teaser on Instagram announcing the NFT launch date, it pulled in over 32 million views. But things got even crazier when Messi shared another post revealing the 3 different pieces in his collection. Fans across the globe were more hyped than ever, and when the NFTs finally dropped, Messi's collection became the priciest sports NFTs ever. On launch day, it completely sold out, pulling in $3.4 million. And the rarest piece of Messi's collection, a one-of-one version of the golden one, not only sold for $1 million. Nowadays, it's worth over $9 million, but all of that was only made in one day. Messi keeps dropping other limited edition NFTs, and in his universe, he's projected to make over $1 billion. But something you didn't know about Messi making tons of money is that's what got him jail time. Since the metaverse isn't the only way he's been earning big, Messi starred in Adidas ads, teamed up with Kobe Bryant in commercials on planes, and even sold more jerseys than any other soccer player. But even though these deals were making him wealthier off the field than on it, once you add paying taxes, he ended up making way less than his family believed he should. That's when things took a turn for the worse. Out of nowhere, Messi was put under heavy investigation because Spanish authorities noticed something odd with his earnings. But all along, Messi had his dad, George, managing all financial decisions. For years, George had been trying to help Messi keep as much of his money as possible and thought he'd found a loophole. George started moving Messi's money into investments outside their country to avoid paying paying higher taxes, with millions traced to Belize and Uruguay, places known as tax havens, where tax rates are lower. Messi's funds were being sent there for years until 2016, when the news broke, and Messi faced a 21-month prison sentence for tax fraud. Messi and his dad had to appear in court as they were accused of defrauding Spain out of more than $4.1 million in taxes. Messi claimed he had no part in the scandal and didn't even know he was supposed to pay taxes. But the judge argued it was hard to believe that someone making as much as Messi, hundreds of millions of dollars, wouldn't notice where his money was going. Both Messi and his dad were found guilty. George received a 15-month prison sentence, and Messi was given 21 months. Luckily, with all the cash Messi had saved, he was able to hire a lawyer who fought the charges and got the sentences reduced. Instead of going to jail, Messi was fined $255,000. His dad had to pay $190,000, and Messi made a final payment of $5.3 million to cover the taxes he owed. In the end, Messi managed to protect their reputations. But Messi wasn't intentionally trying to cause any misfortune. Just take a look through Messi's Instagram, and you'll see that he regularly shares posts about the most important woman in his life, Antonella. You might think Messi only pulled a girl this beautiful because he's a star athlete and worth hundreds of millions of dollars. But the truth goes much deeper than that. Someone even lost their life for them to be together. You see, Messi and Antonella grew up in the same hometown, and once they met, they got into a relationship and thought they'd be together forever. But when Messi got offers to play football in Spain, he couldn't turn his back on his dreams and moved far away. Now playing for Barcelona, he assumed he and Antonella would never reunite until one day, Messi got a call saying she was in trouble. Her best friend had been driving, got into a tragic car accident, and passed away. So because Messi knew Antonella was suffering, he hopped on the very next flight and traveled all the way back home just to comfort her. This not only revived their childhood relationship, but Messi also convinced her to move to Spain with him, and they've been together ever since. But would she still be here if another football legend hadn't sacrificed his life just for Messi to become great? These days, when you see Messi, he looks confident, happy, and prepared for anything that comes his way. But he wasn't always like this. In Messi's early days at Barcelona, he was intimidated by the older, stronger competition. To make matters worse, he was painfully shy, especially around his teammates. But eventually, one player managed to get Messi to break out of his shell, the legendary Ronaldinho. At that time, Ronaldinho was the star of Barcelona and at the peak of his career. His dazzling performances packed stadiums to the point of being sold out. Not only did he help Barcelona become a winning team, but Ronaldinho also brought something new and exciting to football. Even though he was becoming a huge name and many thought he'd become a football legend, everything changed when he met Messi. Ronaldinho saw something in Messi, believing not only could he become great, but that he could be even better than himself. While most star players would let their egos get in the way and brush Messi off as just a young kid, Ronaldinho made it his mission to help Messi become one of the best ever. Ironically, it was Ronaldinho who helped Messi score his first ever goal, and that was just the start. What Ronaldinho did after that was one of the most overlooked acts of selflessness by a superstar. He stepped back and scored fewer goals just to give Messi the chance to shine as soon as possible. Ronaldinho even saw the future and told another sports legend, Kobe Bryant, that Messi was special. Kobe shared the story, saying, "Ronaldinho, who was a good friend of mine, told me, 'Kobe, I'm going to introduce you to the player who will be the greatest of all time.' I told him, 'You're the best.' But he said, 'No, this kid here will be the best.' That kid was Lionel Messi, just 17 years old at the time. To make sure Messi got the recognition he deserved, Ronaldinho's final gesture was to hand over his famous number 10 jersey to Messi. Messi knew this was a huge responsibility, and he didn't waste it. He went on to score 641 goals, becoming one of the greatest players in football history, all thanks to Ronaldinho's selfless actions. Man, And these football legends are something else. But what they did on the field is nothing compared to what they buy. $250,000 watches, $1 million cars, multi-million-dollar homes, and from there, it only gets crazier. I know you want to hear more about that, so just click this video right here.